So the way to define the Civil War has been to describe it as two parties within a single nation going together at loggerhead. But how do you define what a nation is, or what a nation is supposed to mean? Because you would never come to loggerheads. A nation is actually this part back here, this elongated part of your brain. That's how much nation you got. So it's not really that there's two sides. There's not really a war going on between two sides in the same country or the same nation. A better way to describe is where it's seen as advantageous in a partnership between a collective, then one side has constrained themselves and the other side has limited resources. So to identify a civil war, you're going to look for one side that is constrained itself and another side with limited resources. The Mighty Boosh, that were kind of making fun of these punks that had these pants that were that tied together at the bottom so they couldn't run, because they had these like leather straps that connected both legs, and so they can only make small steps. And they were chasing this the dude that was I don't know, he was in the band or something, but apparently he pulled out something that wasn't contemporary, that didn't match with the punk scene, and so he's like playing bazoo or something, and he did an ensemble with the bazoo or something and ruined the whole show or something. So they were chasing him, like they were gonna kill him. Mighty Boosh. Anyway, back to civil conflict, because by not outlining the nature or the design, how you identify a conflict, there's fraternal conflict, there's interstitial tribal wars, there's conventional, there's Cold War, and all different classifications. You have quiet, well, it evolves into soft coups and quiet silent weapons for quiet wars. It's almost just dismissal. It's almost just like selectively forgetting things, or selective memory. I can catch you at any age, but anybody can have an excuse that they didn't that they forgot. It's normal. People have to forget. I mean, come on. How are you gonna get mad at some old person or somebody because they're maybe even a young person whose mental energy and their essence is focused on a different road or path or something? Like, take a different a detour or something. It requires some of your energy, so you're not gonna, your heart is not in it. So I can understand it. It's just that whatever you do, you give your best at it. If you don't know, sometimes there's people that doesn't know yet, so you can't put pressure on someone because they're on the cusp of an epiphany or realizing what is I don't want to make things more complicated than they have to be. Don't be that guy. Why? So there's the question still. Why do you talk about wars? Why do you talk about disease? Why do you talk about hell? Why why you talk, like, if I was to give you a dissertation about hell, you would not feel like you were ever going to go there, but at the same time you would know, and you would still be aware of the danger that there is in life. There is such fates that are worse than death, but you're not going to be like, it's not going to be like you believe in certain things that, like, such as limbo. You know, the people who uphold the pillars of the church are the only ones susceptible to limbo, even after they declared that it was no longer a part of the message anymore. When they denied that, when they say it doesn't exist anymore, we don't acknowledge. We stopped acknowledging limbo. Apparently, a lot of people believe that they lost loved ones to limbo, and it wasn't really a thing. That's terrible. That's really awful. Might want to stop that. But then there are still those people. So the people that uphold, it's like, it's not for everybody. You would say, like, nobody goes to limbo, but there might be some people who that might be for. And they're not part of the whole amending, you know, the it's something like papal, it has something to do with the sacraments and everything. You acknowledging something, you know, this concept of limbo. Like, okay, there's still a concept of limbo that's very much at play, but it's not some place that some people go when they die. You know, it's more or less something that you can appreciate, that is woven in when you don't take particular effort to pay attention. It's complacent. So if it says in the Bible, don't become complacent, it's another reference point to don't invite limbo, and don't come complacent to where you think you can't be to overrun and taken over by people scaling the wall behind the citadel, like where the one weak point, where they can get in at night, the Trojan horse kind of thing. That's where it's like saying, you know, hell actually has four corners. It's actually not for people. But just because you know you're not going to go there doesn't mean that you won't enter limbo in your lifetime. After I explain the four corners of hell, then you'll be able to preface them. It won't be a point that you could argue, why do you believe in what you believe? Because I explained it, I outlined it all. You know, there's the Prometheus aspect, you know, Tartarus, he was chained to the Isle of Tartarus where you get torture. There's the aspect of determinism rolling over into austerity and then colliding with the municipality, all brought on by the aristocracy that wanted to see us become esoteric because they had come into a rift. So where the aristocracy had not reached gratification with the push of the modality, they needed to reprogram the proletariat and to get them to form a new modality which they could captivate, see, leaving the other side out. Because now that there's a rift in the aristocracy, they are trying to leave out the other side. And by leave out, I mean throw Joe in the volcano. It's like kill him. Like the way they're trying to kill, like, Trump. They want to drag him out of the Mar-a-Lago, kicking and screaming, vomiting in fear, pooping his pants, like Sticks, X, and Hammer said. They wanted to see him, like, say, oh no, being treated like every criminal, every other person. Even though that's something they know they can't promise. You cannot throw someone in jail with Secret Service. You cannot. There's like certain things that, like, regardless of the fact that their case has any weight. I mean, you can wait a couple of weeks to see everything fall apart. Then you don't really have to be like in a sense that the sky is falling, in a sense that the wrong people are gaining control, because nobody's in control of nothing. If somebody was in control of all this, then who gives a crap about the Overton window? Just the fact that there is an Overton window tells you, then I don't have to relate the interest in that the aristocracy has for it, or that they have toward gravitating toward the celebrity to try to harness celebrity power as it appeals to the masses, like a Dyson sphere. Hold on a second.